Hello, I'm Mrs. Dreweiler. I will be your preschool teacher. Some things about me. I graduated from Ferris State University in 2023 with a bachelor's in early education and child development and a master's in special education. Some of my favorite things to do when I'm not working are spending time with family. I love hiking, swimming, camping, being outside. Anything that I can enjoy the outdoors and be with my friends and family, I'm definitely doing that. I also absolutely love anything to do with cats and sloths. I actually have 2 cats of my own, and I love them to death. I'm a big fan of classroom pets, so if the environment is right and if we can actually take care of a classroom pet, that'll definitely be in the classroom. My family. So I do have a family. I'm the youngest of 3 children, and I surprisingly am the shortest as well. I'm not married, but I do have a boyfriend and 2 amazing darling cats that I consider my children. I also have 8 barn cats that are spoiled rotten, and I love them as my children as well. So I got a big family, lots of cats. My classroom philosophy is pretty simple. I believe that each child is an individual, and as an educator, I will value and develop each child's strengths, interests, skills, abilities, and knowledge to extend their learning. That is very important to me. As an educator, I want to find the best way to educate my kids individually so that they can stay up to date and up to pace with the rest of the classroom. So if they're more of a hands-on learner, then we'll have more hands-on activities. If they're more of a visual learner, more visual activities. It's all based off of how your child learns best, and adapting to their environment so that they can have the best learning possible. My goals, I have lots of goals in this classroom. Some of them are to provide rules that teach preschool children to practice patience with waiting to be called upon by a teacher. In a preschool classroom, that's really, really important, and it's our job as an educator to teach these children when it is okay to talk and when it is okay to ask a question and what a question is and why we raise our hands. So that is a goal of mine. That's at the top of the list. Another goal is to incorporate interactive activities to teach colors, shapes, and letters. That's where my technology comes into play. Technology can be super beneficial when trying to learn shapes, colors, letters, stuff like that, because we can sing along to songs and we can watch videos, and that really helps with my visual learners. And some more activities that we will do is I have different labeling sheets that we will work with our colors, and it is all based in these will be quizzes, and I will show them the color and they will tell me what it is. I have lots of these that we will work with as a classroom for group time to learn our colors and our letters and our shapes. Another goal is to engage in role play and dramatic play to help preschoolers develop their imagination and provide context to stories. So as a role, my role as a teacher is to be a part of the classroom. I am just as much of a student as my students are. So that means when my kids are playing and it's free playtime, I'm right down there with them. I am building off of their stories. I am helping them create roles and to play with others and to help provide that dramatic play so that their imagination grows. That's definitely a big one. Another goal is to correct all inappropriate grammatical mistakes by repeating the correct phrase. I do this very, very much, and you will start to catch on to your kids actually doing it as well. If a friend does something wrong, and they will correct them. An example of this is kid takes someone's toy, and the kid who got his toy taken away yells, "No, give me that back." That's when I'm stepping in and I'm saying, what did he do? What should you say to him so that he knows that you took his toy? This will be when the child says, Joe, you took my toy and I was playing with it. That is the correct way to initiate the problem solving. Once they get to that point and you repeat those grammatical errors and you tell them how to communicate with the person who stole his toy, and you tell him you need to say nicely, that was my toy, I was playing with that. And then go on to say, if you would like to play with this toy, you can play with it when I'm done. That way, that problem is solved and they know now. My last goal is to include crafting sessions that involve preschool children using scissors, writing utensils, and paintbrushes. We will be using all of those kind of utensils, scissors, paintbrushes, markers, crayons, glitter, glue, all of that kind of stuff. In preschool, this is when you learn how to use those types of crafting stuff. So scissors, we're gonna learn how to hold scissors and how to cut them. With the paint, we're gonna learn how much paint we put on a paintbrush and how we paint, We are going to use glue, and I'm gonna show them how much glue we need and how much glue we should use when gluing things. And so on. Markers, how to put caps back on markers, crayons, putting your crayons away in your boxes without ripping them. It's very simple stuff, but these are my main goals of the classroom, and I will try my best to achieve these by the end of the year. All right. So next is my classroom content. It's pretty simple. In this class, the children will learn about how school works. So going to your locker, putting away your stuff, the daily routines of school. They'll get to know how school runs and the routines behind it. In the classroom, the children will be introduced to socializing schools, talking to others, playing with others, just how to socialize with the kids in your classroom. They'll learn about fine and major motor functions and exploring different aspects of the world, including culture, family diversity, and so on. So we will learn about families. Families are different. We'll talk about your culture, skin color, stuff like that, and we will normalize the diversity in our class. That's a big thing. Some of the major subjects we will learn about is numbers, shapes, colors, name recognition, emotions, family, and seasons. Those are my big, these are my big subjects. There will obviously be smaller subjects around these, but those are my main ones that we will focus on throughout the year. All right, on to technology. So like I said, technology will be used in this classroom, whether you like it or not. In this classroom, we will utilize technology in our process of learning. I believe that when we use the right way, when used the right way, technology for learning in the classroom can be very beneficial. Very beneficial. The list of technologies we will use is a light table. So a light table will sit on the ground, and the kiddos will take small plastic squares or different shapes that are colored, and they can just make things with it. Light tables are very, very cool for kids, and it's very good for learning. Smart board. This is the smart board. This right here, what I'm using is a smart board. Kahoot. Kahoot is an online quizzing thing that children can use to help study for quizzes, tests. It can even just be a fun game for group projects. A projector. Although I don't have one in the classroom right now, projectors, old-fashioned projectors are very beneficial in my classroom. I like to use them so that I can be able to write while also having my kids be able to see what's going on the board. Tablets will be used when necessary. Because we won't be doing a lot of quizzes and tests in our room because it's such a young classroom, tablets won't be used as much, but we will utilize them for looking at schedules with my kids who may not know the schedule very well. We will use them for individual learning time, and that's about it, but we will use tablets. I added light table again, but we already had that, and then buzzers for games. The buzzers for games, I have one right here. So these are the buzzers I'm talking about. These are really beneficial. These are really beneficial in the classroom when learning games, when playing games. You put them in groups, and if they know the answer or the color or the shape or the letter, they press the button, and that's how I know that they know the answer and they can answer the question. So that's just a little bit of the technology we'll use in our classroom. Pretty simple. You may be wondering why I use so much technology in the classroom. And like I said, not only is it beneficial, but it engages students in creative, active learners. Using computers and tablets or other devices encourage self-directed learning and creates an active participant in the learning process, rather than the passive learners found in lecture environment. So if I'm sitting up here and my kids are sitting on this carpet and I'm just lecturing to them, they're not gonna be as involved than if they had something right in front of them for them to look at. Even if it was the same thing, if they're looking at the same thing as everyone else, they have something individually that they can hold on to. They feel more interactive with what they are learning. Another thing is it encourages individualized learning and growth. No one learns at the same pace, as I have said before. They don't learn the same way either, but technology can level set the classroom. For example, technology can provide accommodations for struggling or disabled students, and virtual lesson plans provided individualized instruction for all. So that one is pretty self-explanatory. When using computers, the kids are allowed to go at their own pace. So if we're using a specific website for learning, like Leapfrog or something like that, and we're trying to learn books and point out certain letters in words, kids can go at their own pace. They can save a spot, they can save where they are at the computer and then come back to it. And they can go at their own pace and they can listen to what they want. The third one is it prepares students for the real world. Like I said before, technology is growing at a rapid pace. It is very prominent in our culture right now. Kids are going to have to know about technology for everyday life. When they get into middle school, they're probably going to get a phone. So we're going to teach them now not how to use a phone, but how to do work with technology. We're going to try to integrate it into our classroom. Technology is an integral part of how we work and live every day. It's a part of our life every single day. We use the computer for work, we use our phones for work, we use pagers, we use everything. Teaching students how to use technology to learn, research, collaborate, and solve problems from an early age will better prepare them for their careers. They will be ready. Not only will it prepare them for their careers, but they will be ready for when they get into older classes and they have to use technology. It's no choice. It can also help reduce the fear of new technology in the future by familiarizing the student with the discovery process of a new tool. So that one's kind of self-explanatory. If we start introducing technology to our kids at a younger age, they won't be so scared when they get older and they have to do work on a computer because they're already familiarized with it. They already know what to do. The final one is create more engaged and successful teachers. This one isn't about the students, but more about the teachers. Using technologies like virtual lesson plans and internet resources can help free up time, both in development and delivering the curriculum. This allows teachers to spend more time with students who are struggling, ensuring the whole class is better prepared for tests and advancements. So when introducing technology into our classroom, we are able as teachers to be more one-on-one with our students. When I'm not having to stand up here and lecture and have pretty much lecture, that allows me, the technology, to take my role as a teacher, not fully, but it allows me to be more one-on-one and at the level of my students and help them through it than having to help as a group my students get through it. Where at this level, when I have technology in my use, I can get down and I can work with them individually one-on-one. So that's some reasons why I use technology in the classroom. Let's have a great year. That's about all. I mean, it's a pretty simple classroom and it's pretty easy to follow what's going on. It'll be very laid back and it'll be fun. I'm excited for what the year has to bring. I hope you are too.